Okay, so we've done all of this for elevation 1. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to elevation 2 now. So to go to each elevation, you've got to double click on the marker. So I'll do a similar thing for elevation 2 now. First of all, I'll grab the grids, the open blue circle on the grids after I select it, and drag the grids up. Open blue circle down the bottom, drag that up so it's just covering the 2 level markers. Bring the levels also in, so select one or of the other levels and drag them in, and drag them in to the side like that. So you'll end up with a view looking something like that for elevation 2. Now by default, I think elevation 3 and elevation 4 should look alright as they are. The thing we haven't done for elevation 2, zoom out, oh no, that's alright, yep. Elevation 3 and 4, all we probably need to do is put a window around the datum marks and VH them. Go to elevation 4 and do the same thing, a window around the elevation mark, the datum marks, and VH. VH stands for visibility hide. And on each view you can sort of pan it round and then zoom it up so it fills the screen looking something like that. Back to elevation 3 to do the same, zoom it up and pan it in the middle. Elevation 2 I think we left quite alright. No, I'll zoom that up in the middle, and then go to elevation 1, and that's already there. So we can probably do a save now at that point there. Now, just to explain to you some of the things that we've done here at the moment, one of the things is when I clicked on the grids, there was an open blue circle at the end, and that allowed me to move those open blue circles to put the grid ends in a different location. Now, one of the things about the grids is, at the moment, they have a 3D icon next to them, and there was an open blue circle. By moving that open blue circle while it said 3D, you're actually moving those grid extents for all other views at the same time. That's why when we did it for elevation 1, elevation 3 was at the same time fixed up. When we did it for elevation 2, elevation 4 at the same time was fixed up. That's because we were moving it throughout the whole project. Sometimes you won't want to do that, you'll only want to move it for a particular view, and if that's the case, you've just got to select where it says 3D, and it now changes to 2D. The open blue circle changes to a closed blue dot, and now when you move the closed blue dot, it is only being affected in this particular view. But don't do that just for the moment, we'll leave it just like that. At this stage, I think I'll get you to go back to your floor plan. And on your floor plan, the next thing we'll look up setting up is these elevation markers. So there's a couple of things associated with these elevation markers. I'll zoom in on the one down at the bottom at the moment. There's 2 parts to the elevation marker. There is the bubble and there is the pointer. And when you click on the bubble, the first thing we'll explore is clicking on the bubble, you'll see that there are check boxes that you could click on to add more pointers to the elevation bubble at the moment. I don't want to do that at this stage. The one bubble is really good for this particular exterior elevation situation. If you're in an interior elevation situation, like the centre of a kitchen, you can see how you could click on all 4, place your bubble in the middle of the kitchen, and that would give you elevations of all of the kitchen cabinets in 4 directions. But for the moment, I want you to pick, remembering that there's 2 different things associated, and we're going to use both in a second. I want you to click not on the pointer, but on the bubble. And when you've clicked on the bubble, move your mouse away, then bring it back on, and your mouse becomes a 4-way move icon. So I'll zoom out a little bit. When I get that 4-way move icon, I want to move the bubble closer up into the job, somewhere around about there, just so it's closer to my actual floor plan. Now that's one thing. The next thing I want you to do is escape out of that, come out and click on the pointer, not the bubble. Now when you click on the pointer, zoom out, and you've got 2 things that show up. One is a solid blue line, and the other one is a dashed blue line. When this elevation is created, these 2 blue lines indicate the extents of the view. What you will see, everything in elevation will show up if it lies in between those 2 blue lines. So what I want to do is I want to first of all move this solid blue line here so that it is closer to my actual building, somewhere around about, I'll just show you, somewhere around about there. You just pick it up, you just select the pointer, then move your mouse on top of the blue line, then click and drag, and you can drag it to anywhere. And I would suggest somewhere about there at the moment. Then zoom out until you find the dotted blue line. It's got some movable grip arrows on it. Click on the grip arrows then, and you can drag that down. So this elevation view, when we've got this elevation marker here, it will show up, its view extents of what it will show up in elevation are all things that lie between those two lines there. So I'll just get you then to do that in all the other directions. So click on the bubble first of all to move it till it becomes what you want is you want it to become a four-way move arrow. So you might have to zoom in to get that to work for you, and move it to some sort of location like that. Click on the pointer then, zoom out and find the solid blue line, move the solid blue line closer to the job and the dotted blue line into the other extents. Do the same again, in towards the job there, possibly somewhere like that. We can move them around later, and as you move the bubble, these extent lines do not move. So you need to click on the pointer to actually move the extent lines, which is a very good thing actually. So bubble again, zoom in till I get a move icon, and place it somewhere there. And now click on the pointer. Right. Okay, so and then when you've finished, a good thing to do is to zoom out quite a way, and then click into the screen somewhere and type ZE for zoom extents, and that will then zoom everything that's in the job to fill that window. So our floor plan's pretty much set there at the moment, our elevations are pretty much set at the moment. I think probably the next thing is we'll actually bring in the SketchUp model. So we'll do a save there at the moment, and then we'll stop the video and come back in shortly.